Welcome to another episode of Personal Mastery Training. And just like if it's your first time listening in, what this is about is just like the name says, personal mastery. Because if you can control the 3-pound mass between your ears, outside doesn't matter. Whatever's going on outside is going to go on outside. It's been going on outside since the beginning of time. But if you can control what's between your ears, you can control the game. You control your own game. And that's what this is about. And we call it training because it's not a static thing. It's a dynamic. You're always growing. You're always learning. You're always changing. So what I do is I do 2 episodes. I do one is a strategy session where I talk about a concept, an idea, and I invite you to expand on it and journal on it. Pretty similar to modern day philosophers. I want you to stop, get off your treadmill, and really look at an idea that I pose at you and journal on it. And the second one is a masterclass. I get someone on here who I see who is working towards mastering their game, who's relentlessly pursuing mastery of their craft, their game, themselves, their life, their business. And I get them on here, and I believe success leaves clues. So I pick the nuggets out of their journey and share it with you. And I invite you to like, subscribe, and share the same thing, same passion. So today I'm bringing on someone I'm excited. We met just a few months ago, but this brother here, I've been in this fitness industry for 25 years, and I've met a lot of pros, from Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman. I've worked with some of the top names in Canada and the US. And Samson, Dauda, there's a personality that he brings to the game, as well as his posing. If you look at him online, the way he moves through his routines, he just brings something different to the game. So I thought, let me get him on here and pick his brain about his journey. He's a great storyteller too. I was captivated with the story of him during the pandemic. And, I said, I got to get this guy on here. So let me give you a quick introduction of Samson. 2017, he earned his pro status at the IFBB Diamond Cup in Rome. In 2021, he got his pro card, the IFBB Pro League Arnold Classic, UK men's bodybuilding. He got second place, actually, at that point. In 2021 season, he achieved third place, top 3 in Italy and Egypt. They call him the Nigerian Lion. And the way I met him is through a client and a friend of mine, Fuad Abiad. He has a brand called Hostile, and he's now a Hostile athlete. And he's currently on his journey towards the Olympia 2022 to go and make his mark there as well. And we're excited to watch his journey. So Samson, welcome, man. Appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me, man. Really.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us now, the way I like to start is, where are you now? And then I want to go back, because I want people to realize that the person at the top of the mountain didn't accidentally trip up there. They climbed.
Definitely not. I mean, right now, I can say personally, I'm in the time of my life where I would say I'm the most happy I've been in a long time, because like I can remember, like when I started bodybuilding, it was a grind, and not just, everybody thinks about the grind, they just think about the training, they think about dieting. No, but they don't think about like what it costs, the sacrifice costs you and your family, the expenses, the daily chore. I was working a full-time job while I was a pro bodybuilder. That trying to work a full day, I was in construction as well. So it was a full day, leave that, and then go to the gym and then try to pursue this whole pro thing. I mean, a pro bodybuilder. So you don't really think about how difficult it is, and you're not earning anything as a pro. You're basically using your day job to pay for this hobby, which at the time that's all it is. So you spend years just grinding with that faith of, okay, you know what, this is gonna pay off someday. This is gonna pay off someday. And you're trying to convince your partner, your family that, okay, they believe in you, so they know you can do it, but you're trying to sort of go through that approach of watching you guys sacrifice. I mean, if you guys know how much money they spend on food, on supplements, on everything else, it costs a lot. It really costs a lot. So you're watching your family holding that finances off just to put it towards you and your goal, thinking one day it's going to pay off. And year after year, show after show, you don't get into great places, you're not coming back with anything. You know,
Mm.
you spend money for travel, you spend everything. And, you know, it does eat away at you, you
Yeah.
know. And it takes, I'll say, it takes a real character to think, okay, you know what? I believe that I'm going to make it sometime. You know, I know this is hard now, but one day it's going to pay off. I believe we're close, and you keep grinding in there anyway. Like I said, like when it was like 2020, basically, I came in 2020 with the idea of, okay, I've been pro for almost about 3 years at that point. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? If it doesn't work out this year, I'm quitting it. This is my last year. This is the year. So I came in that year thinking, okay, all or nothing this time. Throw it all in the basket or give it up because it's not working.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, after watching your family struggle through things, try to get you on stage, and you sort of eating away at that, it's enough for you to think, okay, no, I can't keep doing this. You know, I can't watch them struggle just for my behalf. In 2020, I came up with that plan. Like, okay, if it doesn't happen here, it doesn't. That's it. So obviously, Corona happened to come along in 2020, and it's shut down almost all bodybuilding shows. Yeah, but I carried on grinding through it anyway. Yeah, trying to find a show anywhere, up and down the place. You know, it was crazy. Like, you know, got turned away from the airport on my way to fly to the USA to do the Tampa Pro after prepping for almost 8 months. Yeah. You know? And the day before the show, basically, I got turned away at the airport because they say, "Oh, you ain't allowed to fly." You know, so you kind of have the approach, and you're thinking, okay, when things are as dark and as terrible as they can be, how do you go on? How do you say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna carry on grinding anyway? You know? Exactly. So going through all that and then winding up here, and you know, now what position I am in now, but things sort of picked up since then. It's a blessing, you know, and I do feel like I had to go through all that to appreciate where I am right now. Yeah. And I truly have, you know, great admiration for the idea of, okay, your time will come. You just need to hold on in there and keep pushing. Yeah.
Now, I've got a couple of key questions that I feel are key then. What drew you to this sport? One, and two, who was your idol?
So, I mean, before I started this sport, I played rugby, and I was always into sport, man. My whole life, I was always into sport. I always had that mindset of, okay, any sport I played, I always want to be the best at it. I always want to be better than I can at it. But through my youth, growing up, through my 20s and everything else, even though I was good at most sport, I never came out. I never liked to show off at it. So I used to hold myself back. Yeah. Sport, because I didn't like making people feel uncomfortable. You know. So we play a team game. I know how good I can be, but I won't really show off and really expose how good I can be, because I didn't want a team to sort of have that look of, oh, why do you have to do everything yourself? You're always trying to show off and like that. So I was just not confident like that in myself, and I always kind of held back most things I did until bodybuilding came along, and it was the first sport where it's the direct opposite. It was a sport where you had to really show up. You know, you have to show off. You have to really expose yourself, really be in that front page. You know, so it was definitely, for me, it was definitely like, okay, a complete change of dynamic. And it was my partner that got me into bodybuilding, and you know, she had to really sort of push me into it. It was something that I really had an interest in. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was just more like, okay, a lot of people start saying, man, you got physique on you, you know, you ever thought about competing? And time and time I was like, nah, not for me. I don't do that stuff. It's not for me. So, you know, partner kept on saying it, got another partner in the gym, and she kept on saying that, you know, you really need to think about it, because you do have the power, you do have the potential to do it. So she drew me into the sport. So she gave me the idea of, okay, all right, I'll give it a chance. Let's see what this is all about. You know, so the first show basically of her, she did my diet, she did my first prep, you know, she did everything at the first time. You know, we basically learned bodybuilding together. You know, that was back in 2014. You know? Yeah. Then when I started a sport, I can remember watching sport, and there was physiques. I sort of admired watching sport, you know. I saw physique that was so similar to mine, that ones that kind of drew me in. I saw Sean Roden, I saw Flex Wheeler, you know, Chris Cormier. Them guys were the guys I looked up to, you know, in the sport at the time. I looked at them and wow, okay, is that what is that what the body can look like? You know, what I can achieve one day. Yeah. I looked at that and I was like, okay, hell, yeah, I want to do this. I want, you know, with a dream one day, maybe even looking a little bit like that.
Yeah. Did you think it was going to be easier than it was?
Oh, at the start, yeah, of course I did. Of
No.
course, otherwise there's gonna be, you know, 3-4, especially when you're an amateur and you come in and you're genetically gifted. You pretty much blitz through, you know, first 4 shows, I won them all clean without even the effort. You know,
Yeah.
blitz through thinking, yeah, okay, this is easy, man. What's this all about? You know. And then I remember when I turned pro and I did my first pro show, even then I was thinking, like, it wasn't an arrogance, but it was a sense of, okay, I know I'm good and I'm gonna smash it, I'm gonna make it all the way to the top in no time. What a thing. So I know I did my first pro show in Prague and I came 5th, which probably was a big lineup. And I came 5th. And I was like, see, nothing to it. Of course. And then the 2 weeks, I think it was about 2 weeks later, I did another pro show, which was in Italy, and there was like 25 guys in there. And I remember doing that pro show, thinking, okay, you know what? There was no big names in that show, and I think, okay, I'm going to win this one. This is the one. Kill it. And I had that full intention in my head, you know, that I was going to win it, you know. So came to the pro show, and obviously the lineups came out, and I was in the first call out, and I landed in the second call out, and that was the first time that it was the first kick, it was the first knock, the first, okay, what the hell is this all about? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know? And right from that point is I just started getting, okay, first knock, did a show later after that, got another one, you know. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why am I not killing it? Why am I not, you know? And it took that for me to sort of realize, okay, what you thought was going to be easy, it ain't that simple, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be that simple for you. It's definitely not going to be that simple. So you better ready to grind and get your ass back to work, you know? And it really kind of showed, because I'm looking back at it now, I think I needed that, you know, because if I had come in, especially being that young at that time, and just coming in and just going straight through it, just winning and just getting all the way to the top so quickly, I think I would have learned most of the lessons that I know today. Ability, that character, that idea of, okay, get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down, keep coming back up until you win. You know, I wouldn't have learned that if I didn't go through that point. You know, so for me, looking back at it now, I nod my head and I say, you know what, it showed me that every time you get knocked down, it just means you gotta work harder. So it really taught me that lesson through it.
Yeah. When you got, now I call this the IFBB Pro Graveyard.
Yeah.
And what this is I remember years ago, I had a depiction made of, I put all the pro bodybuilders from all the beginning to now. At that time, I think it was in 2000 and something. And so there's the mountain. I had it Mount Olympia.
Yeah.
And then as I come forward, I had couple guys climbing.
Yep.
And then as I come to the foreground, I have some bones in the ground, and I have a couple guys looking to the mountain. So this was this old depiction that I created, because what happens to people, and you can attest to this, is they get the pro card and something happens. Their steam dies out. There's so many people at the gym with IFBB Pro on their cards, and they update their link to their social media and never do anything else.
Because you know what, they don't tell you, you know, because it's the same thing for me. They don't tell you how hard it is to be a pro. You know, at the time you're battling as an amateur and you're thinking, okay, the holy grail is getting that pro card. Once I get that, that's it, man, I'm made. I want to make it as a pro card. Yeah, it's all good from this point on.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that you've just gone through the amateurs. That was just like the preliminaries. That was just like the testing trials. When you get the pro card, the real exam begins. And guys don't make it. A lot of, you know, people underestimate the amount of people that win their pro card and they just don't make it.
I'm telling you.
You don't see the ones that do. You don't see the hundreds and thousands of them that get it, and they just don't cut.
Thousands.
You know, and it's very easy to be one of them. It's very easy to get, because one, I mean, genetics plays a role. If you're not genetically gifted like that, well, sorry, you ain't gonna make it. I'm sorry, but if you're not, I mean, we talk about a different level of hard work and grinding. You have to live, breathe it. You know, you can't. It has to be a part of you. It's not even a case of, well, I'm gonna train hard today and then have a rest tomorrow and then train hard. No, bodybuilding it has to be a full part of you, and you have to love it. If you don't have all that, you ain't gonna make it. You know? all this all plays a role, and then a bit of luck comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, all this comes into play, and you know, people don't. You know, I know great guys that have got their pro card. They're awesome physique, amazing physique. You know, some of them didn't work hard enough, so they just go quiet. Some of them, they never got to a level where they could start earning anything as being a pro. So finances just wouldn't allow them to carry and compete. So they sat off. You know,
Yeah.
some of them aged out. Some of them got injuries. Some of them, you know, there's so many things, obstacles that are going to be in the way that will stop you from getting to that next level. You know,
Yeah.
jumping in getting the pro ranks. You know, it's not like, okay, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to climb. It's like being thrown in the shark tank. You know, it's like, okay, you've done great as an amateur. You've reached the top of the pyramid. You won your pro card. Now we're going to throw you in the big sea with all the sharks. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So you can go to a show at any point. The best in the world could jump into it. Go, I'm doing this show too.
Yeah.
That's it. You gotta. What are you gonna do? You can't. You know. So there's no, okay, we're gonna pair you up with someone that's close to you, so you have a good chance of having a feel of what it's like to be a pro. It's no, you throw you in the deep end and say swim. When you're in that position, it's a case of a lot of people break. You know.
Yeah.
And how could you know, if you, especially when you know how hard you've worked to get to that point, get the slap of telling you, let's say you know that how hard you think you worked, you ain't worked hard enough.
Right.
How can you know? Because I know I was in that position. I was in a position where I was thinking, well, maybe this wasn't going to happen. Maybe this isn't going to happen. Maybe I'm a bit deluded. Maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I'm just not cut out to what it takes. You know? So you start doubting yourself, and all that creeps in. And if you let that get in, believe me, you're already on a quick roll down. That's it. You're done. You're already slipping down the ladder. That's it. 2 more shows from that point is you don't do well, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a long off season for a year, and then you don't come back.
Yeah. Yep.
This happens a lot.
Yep.
So it's, you know, people don't understand the way, how hungry, you know, it is at this level, how hungry it is to be a pro, how hungry you have to be. Just as pro, you know? So when we see the top guys, we see the guys that are doing well, but we don't see the hundreds and thousands that are just trying to get a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh, a ton. And then in such a selfish sport, meaning that your partner, you're fortunate that you have a partner that pushed you actually. But it's for those who don't have that, and you're trying to tell them that you're going to go do this thing. It's a selfish sport, meaning that it's got to be about you. That you can't eat the barbecues, you can't go to the parties, you know.
The thing is, I mean, this is a sport where I put it this way: you can't do it alone. You are, don't believe anything. You know, they say, oh, it's a one man. No, you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
You cannot do it with someone who's not willing to support you completely. Not a little bit, completely.
Completely.
If you don't have that, then I'm gonna tell you now, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
They have to be committed to you fully into getting you to that point, because sometimes you're gonna doubt you on what you are able to commit. And you're gonna be like, because I know I went through years and years where I was thinking, okay, that's it, I'm backing off. And I need a partner to tell me, okay, just do one more show. Come on, let's just do it. We can do it. Don't worry, we go. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, okay, the bills are piling up. I can't afford bodybuilding. I can't afford my bills because I'm paying for bodybuilding. It makes no sense. I'm investing in something that doesn't seem is bearing fruit.
Yeah.
So how does it make sense for me to keep pushing it? And then there's only so long you can do that, you know.
Yeah.
The partner there to say, okay, we'll make it. Just I have a feeling it's gonna happen now.
Big time.
Long in that. It's soul crushing, you know. It can be soul crushing at that point. So having that, you have to have somebody in your corner. Somebody say, okay, you know what, keep going. I got you. Don't worry, keep going.
Yeah, 100.
Feel it yourself. When those dark times comes and those dark thoughts creep in, you have nobody to talk to. You have nobody that really knows what you've been through.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're okay.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And so tell me then, you kind of segued into one topic I want to talk about. I want to talk about the mind game, okay, of this sport, because this is a sport where one, it's a lonely feud, okay. Two, since the advent of social media, it's even worse because now you got comparison. You're on this social media, which is built for comparison anyways. Back in the day, there wasn't social media, so at least you can only compare yourself to maybe you look at a magazine or you go and search for it. Now it's right in your hands. And then you got food, you got you're restricted from, having the wedding cake and the whatever, the barbecue, the mental game. How do you make it, man?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, social media part and the pressure is the worst one of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Double-edged sword. Social media has helped bodybuilding dramatically. It's helped you being able to promote yourself, being able to get yourself out there, be able to promote you can, even without doing well in shows. You can still be a successful bodybuilder. It's giving you that platform to launch off out of. And the second side is put you in the eye of the eye of the world, to be criticized, to be judged,
Instantly.
Instantly judged, criticized by everybody, and you can see every part of it. So they say, oh, you have to have tough skin, and you gotta have rhino skin for this. There's a thing they said, oh, you know what? If you just block out the bad comments or whatever, they don't hurt you, whatever. No, they hate you.
Yeah.
I always laugh because people think, oh man, how do you get positive back? I mean, it doesn't affect me. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It affects all of us.
Yeah.
Always is that that comment that gets through that and it affects all of us. So it takes one thing I would say is the most you can do. There's not me. I can't even tell you, oh, just shake it off, because it doesn't. You can't shake it off because someone gives you a word, it cuts you like a knife. Don't get it twisted. All I can say is don't respond. Don't ride. That's the best thing you can do.
Don't give it life.
Out of your power. Anything else is over. You will feel the pain from it. You will feel the pain from it. You will get pissed off at it. You will want to lash out and say, and most of the time these comments, they're not even real or right or accurate or anything like that.
Yeah.
The person that's making it don't have a clue what they're talking about. They have no idea. And you know that, but it's still the same way. And because of that, you have this ability to you just want to reach out and say what you have no idea what you're talking about. You want to lash back out of it. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
That validates that comment. It validates that thought. And it basically, now something that could have been a pain that would last a few minutes, really pain, but then with time, you move on.
Yeah.
Now, when you reply to it, it becomes a long time on that. It goes on, it goes on. And then you find yourself the whole day thinking about that one thing, So it's that, and that's just from that side of it. And then the idea of competition, Now you can see what everybody looks like. You can see what everybody, all your competitors, you can see everything. You can see who's getting hot, who's not. You can see everything is that there.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding coincide with social media. You can't just say, okay, I'm just going to turn my phone off and not care and not look. No, you need it to promote yourself. So you have to be into it. So the mental side now has to be so much stronger. You have to be so much more tougher in that side, because these things get to you. You do have to be able to distance yourself from it and sort of just put up a wall that just tells you, okay, right, I know that they're there, they get to me, but I cannot respond the same way. I got to stay professional. I got to just pull away from it time to time, and treat it that way, because it is hard. It's definitely difficult, Something like, people don't know how much it is until you're on the receiving end of it. You don't know how much it can hurt, how much it affects you until you're on the receiving end of it. Damn, I didn't know there was this many people that harsh,
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? The funny part is when you watch the comments and you see the comments, just people say all kinds of things. When I go to the Arnolds and 250,000 people go through the Arnolds, and you see the lineup for, nobody has that kind of energy when they meet you. No one. You've never seen them. The lineup is down around the corner, and when your comments are filled with, where are these people?
No, you never see them. You never see them. So I mean, this is where you have to kind of, honestly, you take it seriously, but at the same time you can't take it seriously. It's a weird thing, because you gotta take it seriously, as in it helps promote yourself, it helps promote bodybuilding, but at the same time you can't take things out of it seriously like that, because it will destroy you. It will, especially bodybuilders, man, we're touchy. There's no getting away from that. Mentally, we're touchy. We're built like that, The reason why we're so competitive and so aggressive, and we're able to achieve this level of success of what we do is because we are touchy and we are that. We are that kind of people. So when people see someone lashing out, a bodybuilder lashing out on social media, go, why is he lashing out like that? I'm like, you don't understand the mindset that is at that point. Those are the kind of people that make it. Those kind of people that they don't take crap. They don't. And now you're putting them in a position where they have to be civil and be, professional and be quiet and be a non-respond. You ain't gonna get but you're not gonna ask them for the best of both worlds. You're not gonna get that. So they touch it. So when you see them lash out, don't think it's because what was he's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because those things build up.
Yeah.
It might not be that one thing that happened that point that set him off. It would have been the last 5 to 10 things that's happened in the past few weeks or days or whatnot that just built the point. So they touch you like that, and it's already hard enough, especially when you're prepping for a show. It's already hard enough because the pressure is on you. Everything is on you. You're trying to perform at your best at the highest level.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you now have this to deal with on top of it.
Yeah.
It's not. It breaks. Some things just break through. Something leaks through.
Yeah.
But it's trying to just say, okay, right. Being able to have this one other thing where I say having the right people around you matters a lot. So to me, it matters a lot.
Yeah.
I could not put a price on how having the right person around you matters a lot because there's been so many times where I've been there and I've seen something and I've typed out a comment, I'm gonna type out something back. I'm gonna get ready to press, share. I was like, you really want to send that? And I'm like, yeah, of course. He's like, okay, put it down, give it 1 hour. If you still feel the same, send it. If you don't, let it go.
Okay.
Okay, I put it down. An hour later, I'm like, man, it ain't even worth it. I'm like, so this is what happened. The right people around you matters a lot.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that sort of incite that. Like coming in and go, oh, did you see what he said about you? Or did you see this one? Did you see that one?
Yeah.
This one said this. Those are not the right people around you. They don't need to tell you anything. Why?
Yeah.
You mentioned this. You're having a good day, and a friend of yours sees a comment about you that's negative. See a video, or they see something about you that's negative.
Yeah.
They called you to tell, oh, yo, bro, have you seen this negative? Have you seen this stuff about you? Why they ruin it today? Why they Why they got it? Because they know that you ain't gonna get nothing positive from it. So the right people around you will be like, yeah, he ain't gotta see that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Unless it's something that's gonna affect your character.
Yep.
That you need to mitigate. That's it. You don't need to hear that.
It doesn't do you anything. Something that you need to address.
Yeah.
You don't need to see it. You don't need to see it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the people around you, they are very, 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 very helpful. They're very, very powerful.
Yeah. So how many people saying that then? Do you have a small group? Do you make sure you're meticulous with your filtering of how many? 4?
So I have pretty much about 4 people in my group, My partner, my best friend, and my coach, and the guy that owns my gym. They're the only people that they're my close circle. That's it.
Yeah.
Been there right from the start, so they know what I've been through all the way to this point. So if they tell me something, I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
They've proven their time to me time and time again. They've proven how much they care about me time and time again for me to ever doubt them. So even when I'm acting up and I can't see past, I can't see the picture, I'm too caught up in the picture. I can't see the whole thing. I can trust them on their voice of reason to say, what you're doing right now is not the way you gotta do it. Or, you know what, just hold off. I think you better wait and do it this way or do that way. So I can trust them enough to know, okay, whatever they're saying to me is coming from a good place.
Yeah.
The right place. So there's always reason what they say. So even though you might not agree, stop and consider what they say first.
Love it. Love it. I've got 2 more questions that I want to ask you. One of them is when I met you, one of the stories that was impactful for me was that before this opportunity happened with Fuad, you were like, you were close, man. You were like, I don't even know what tomorrow looks like.
So basically what happened, I said about 2020 being my last year. 2020 was a year was basically do or die. So first, it started off 2020. I got an invite for the Arnold Brazil at the beginning of the year. And I thought, wow, this is great. It's going to be invite for the Arnold Brazil. Okay, this is my platform. This is where I'm going to break out. This is my breakout year, So I got that. And then Corona hit. I think it was 6 weeks. I was already prepping for that. 6 weeks out. Corona, everything shuts down. So we were at that point. We were like, okay, decision time. At this time, remember, at this time, we didn't know how long it was going to be. We didn't know how serious it was going to be. We was like, okay, should we shut down the prep and just call everything quits, or just carry on prepping, slow things down, carry on prepping, and when the show's back up, we jump in the first show we get. So I went for that call. Okay, I'll just carry on prepping. When Corona's over, I'm gonna jump in the first show I get. Okay, this was back in April.
Yeah,
so going through the summer, going to May, June, and I'm still prepping. And every time it seems like, oh, this show is gonna happen. Nope. 2 weeks later, no, they cut it out. This one, 4 weeks later. So I'm just grinding my gears through the whole time. At the same time, I'm working full time as well. Well, I'm just grinding through.
Yeah.
Up to August, I think I've already prepped all this time, and then Tampa Pro finally seemed like the show that was gonna genuinely happen. Then lockdown was over, things were starting to open up a little bit. So I was like, hey, there we go. Okay, so I applied for visa and everything else to go to the States. Did all the question. Look, I knew that we couldn't fly directly to the States at the time.
Right.
Did that. And they said, yeah, I'm a sport athlete. I'm only going there for a competition. Is it cool? They said, yeah, of course. Well, we don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
So the Thursday, I've prepped this whole time. The Thursday before the Tampa Pro, I was flying out to Tampa. So we went to the airport, bags all packed, airlines all paid. I even remember calling the airlines a few days before, say, this is the situation. Is it all right? And they were like, yeah, of course, we don't see a problem.
Yeah.
We got the letters and the invitation and everything. We don't see a problem. So I showed up to the airport, and right before we were about to check in, the guy shows up and said, yeah, we ain't letting you fly. And I was like, what the hell? Bodybuilding is not a recognized sport. I can't let you fly. So you're sitting there at the airport, spend all this time, energy, space.
Yeah.
The mental fortitude would have taken you to go months and months and months in prep when you don't have a show coming up. Just saying, okay, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You've already battling your mental side this whole time, thinking, don't worry, it'll happen, you get it. You motivate you all through the work. I remember at this point, gyms were shut.
Yeah.
So I remember my friend, he lived an hour away. He owned a gym. He lived an hour away from where I stayed. So I used to finish work, get in my car, and drive to an hour to his place to train, and then drive an hour backwards to go home. So I've been doing that for months, So it's just that mental thought of, okay, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. Remember, you said he's going to make it no matter what it takes. You're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
That was my mindset that whole year. Whatever it takes. If that's what it takes, let's go.
Yeah.
So when I go to the airport and he tells us that, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. At this point, I'm falling apart. So we went home, and it was the weekend of Tampa Pro, and I'm just like, I can't do this. Okay. So me and my family, we took a trip up to the mountains, just have a weekend break, because it was just way too much. It was so disappointing. I mean, I was in tears. I was just like, this is crazy. This is just not working out.
Yeah.
So we were then, like, obviously in the weekend, we were in the mountains, stuff like that. And then we were looking at the calendar, so, okay, what show is next after that? And then there was a show in South Korea, which was 2 weeks away. And I was like, okay, South Korea. Looked at the flight and what you're allowed to do. UK, we can still fly to South Korea. We're still permitted to fly to South Korea.
Right.
One thing is, you're going to have to quarantine when you get there for 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh, okay, quarantine. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Stay in a nice hotel, train in the hotel. Train in the hotel, go back to your room. No big deal. Come out after 2 weeks, jump on the show, kill it, go home. Easy peasy. Okay, that's not bad. So we were like, okay, let's find out what we got to do. So I called the promoters up in South Korea, told them the situation. Like, yeah, I'm considering doing the show with, and they were kind of surprised. Like, really? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And they was like, okay, you do realize in the quarantine, you actually don't get to leave your room for 14 days. It's not a case of you can't go anywhere. You can't leave the room for 14 days straight. You get to the airport, they drive you into the hotel for quarantine, they lock you in a room, and that's it. They drop your food at the door 3 times a day. That's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm thinking, okay, well, no training, no meals, okay, it's impossible. It's not happening. Okay.
Right.
almost scratch it off. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, I've come this far. I've worked this hard. I've come this far. And you did say, whatever it takes. And I'm like, I look at my partner and I was like, whatever it takes, right? Okay. I think we're gonna do it. She was like, well, how is it possible? How are you gonna do it? I'm like, okay, let's try to break this down, what we need. Okay. I got 2 weeks, I'm already in shape. All I gotta do is maintain that. My cardio. I can run on the spot for cardio.
Yeah.
45 minutes a day. Yeah, got that. Can do that. Bands. I know I can use bands, use weights, use body weights. I can keep my physique in shape with body weights.
Yeah.
Okay. Food wise, that's the biggest problem. They give you 3 meals, they deliver 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
3 meals are not anything a bodybuilder should be eating.
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, so what can we do? I spoke to the promoter and they say, okay, what they're gonna try to do, they're gonna try to deliver some meals to me while I'm there. But allowing them to as of yet.
Right.
Okay, let's play it safe. Let's see. So we say, look, I'm gonna be in a hotel for 2 weeks. I don't need any clothes, I don't need any special. My whole suitcase, fill it out with food, frozen food.
Okay.
Fill out the whole suitcase as much as all the food we can carry.
Okay.
Okay, this is it. This is the plan. And I remember before heading off on that, I was like, I had to obviously take some time off my job as well. I couldn't tell him I was going to South Korea because at that time it was like a what? The big red flag, you know. So I was just going to take some time off. Okay. So I remember before we leaving for that, and obviously you're thinking this is crazy. This is hell. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is insane. You know, it's the most crazy thing you do. I remember speaking to my friend and I told him about what we're planning. I remember him saying to me that, bro, this decision will change your life.
Okay.
And I was thinking to myself, like, well, one way or the other, this is gonna be I'm gonna remember forever.
Yeah.
And then we kind of like got to the airport. Even then, when we go back to the airport, I already had freaking anxiety going back to the airport. They're even gonna let me fly this time. So we got to the airport and we're standing there talking and they're going backwards and forward. They're not even sure if I can fly or not. Looking and eventually they came back, okay, yeah, we let you fly, but you do know you're going to quarantine. Yeah, I know, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know, first 8 hours flight and then another 6 hours flight all the way to South Korea. Showed up at the airport. I remember having 4 different interviews, each one an hour long, just before I left the airport. It was like, okay, the reason for your visit, why you visit? And it's just the same question over and over. And they were like, oh, do you know you have to quarantine? I'm like, yeah, I know. Okay. And then the minute you finish that, I mean, at this point I was exhausted. I've just been flying for almost 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm completely worn out, tired, I'm exhausted, I'm irritable. I just want to, you know, I just want to this bullshit.
Yeah.
So finish from there, they throw you on a bus, drive you to Seoul, South Korea, have a specific hotel. I think it was, I don't remember if it was a Hilton or something like that. They put you in a hotel, they take you around the back entrance of the hotel. And you pull up and you got guys in hazmat suits coming out, all covered up and everything else.
Oh man.
You would think you were in some different world. Come out and they test you right there.
Yeah.
Do the test, take you, and once you're done, okay, march you to your room. Put the that's you for 14 days.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, okay, here we go. Go microwave. We don't have anything much, but got TV, got everything else. So like right from the point, set up your cell phone, start keeping busy. So kept on, you know, during the daytime. Why I can, because of the time difference, I slept all through the day and I stayed awake all through the night. So I was more closer to the UK time. So I had people to talk to. Because if I switch, I wouldn't be able to speak to nobody during the day, and during the night I was sleeping. So I basically kept my time zone that same way.
Yeah.
I spoke to part and everything else, and through the day was okay. Wake up first thing in the morning, run on the spot, 45 minutes, use the bands, do your training later on after that, get on your meals, and everything, they deliver your meals for you. You're looking at these things and you're thinking, okay, they're like what you get from the airplane. You know, it was that. So there was like, you're looking at it and go, okay, what can I take out of it? Okay, I see some eggs over there. I think that I might have. And you throw the rest in the bin. You carry on that day after day.
Yeah.
The first week goes by. At this point, I'm running out of food. And I'm contacting promoters and they're saying, look, they're not allowing us to bring in any food to you because their belief is if you get ill from food we bring, they're liable. So give you anything. We were like, well, I'm running out of food.
Yeah.
We're fighting out on now, and we're fighting to try to get something to you, but this is what's happening. So we carried on like days of at this point I'm almost out. So eventually the promoters got me some supplements. They brought some supplements in, protein powders and stuff. I'm like, okay, this I'll have to somehow make this work.
Yeah.
And eventually they were able to get some egg whites, some liquid egg whites. And I was like, okay, if all else fails, I know they deliver rice and I got liquid egg whites. So that's gonna be my diet from this point on. And it got to the point days, it was basically rice and liquid egg whites was my diet. I was like, well, that's what it is. Carried on pushing, carried on going. So at the time I was there, I didn't let one weekend, I didn't want nobody to know we were there. I didn't say anything. I kept it quiet because I didn't want my work to find out. So I kept it all quiet. Promoters, they promoting the show, and they said to me, they were like, look, Sam, we're trying to promote the show, and people in South Korea don't believe you're here. They don't believe us. I wrote a video just saying, hey guys, I'm in South Korea, ready to do the show this weekend. I was like, okay. So I did that video. They posted it up. Knowing to me, I thought, probably not many people were gonna see it. That's knowing to me, it got out. And everybody saw it. And I didn't expect the reaction of that because I didn't see it as a big deal. I saw, okay, right, I'm running, sometimes I'm doing what I want to do. I didn't see it anywhere. I was like, look, it's what it takes. We always say, oh, do whatever it takes. This is what it took. So I didn't see it. But then when people started finding out, they were losing their minds. They were like, are you really doing? I'm like, yeah, of course I am. This is what we talk about. This is what we say. And then they were losing their mind about it. So again, different interviews. The guy said, look, we got to interview. We got to speak about this. Is it really that bad? Is it? I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. So that was the first time I got Fuad basically contacted me for an interview. Interview for him right in the hotel room at the time. Saying, yeah, this is a situation, this is why I'm in the room right now. This is how I do my cardio. This is how I train. This is how I'm getting on. I'm going to get out of here in a few days and we're going to do a show and this is it. So I did all that and everything else. And then what happened was basically, I think it was a day before I had to leave. And I was like, oh my, feel great. I'm about to leave. The day before it, and the promoters called me and go, Sam, we got some bad news. I'm like, what's the deal? It's like, the government in South Korea is putting everything back into lockdown. We're gonna have to promote the show. We're gonna have to postpone the show for another 2 weeks, or we have to cancel it. So you can imagine what it feels like at this point. What's your mind is going? I remember getting on the phone and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sleep. I don't even need to. I don't want to know. I don't want to. My mindset wasn't ready to dilute that at that point. And I just went back to sleep.
Samson, I would have stopped about the first week out of leaving home. I don't even. Unbelievable.
So you just you kind of just seeing going after everything. This is like it's you just see yourself almost your world is just falling apart. Just when you think you are fighting hard as you can and you're making progress, and then it's like, away from you. So it felt like I just felt I was going to fall apart. So at that end, they basically said they were going to the show, and then other end, my work finds out because I don't know how they found out that I was in South Korea. So I get fired right there. So you're standing there, you look at your life, and you just thinking, okay, well, that's a gamble that just went all to some people else. And at this point, you're thinking, well, where's the upside? And then I remember the following day, Fuad called me and he goes, yo, Sam, man, your interview, man, a lot of people can't help but they talking about your interview. They just think it's crazy. Like, I thought you were under contract. I thought you were sponsored athlete. And I was like, no, man, this is all on my money. This is all me. This is all, there's no one behind me. This is all, I'm doing this by myself. He goes, really? I thought you were on the contract. I was like, no. He was like, bro, honestly, what you're doing right now is exactly what I want in my company. So I want to sign you up. Right at that point, right when I literally had nothing left, he signs me up.
Yeah.
When I say life has a funny way to kick you right a minute when you're thinking it's all gone, I finally get that kick up.
That was it.
And from that point on, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, yeah, he goes, definitely, man. He goes, I've never seen someone willing to do so much just for something so like that.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm like, bro, you just saved my life, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
You know, you see about that. And that's why I always like now, no matter what the situation I come across now, I just tend to smile it off, especially in bodybuilding. I just smile it off and go, honestly,
Yeah.
I've been through, this is my child's play.
No, man, that is, you know, as I'm sitting here, I heard you tell this story to the group. And
Yeah.
even now I'm sitting here going, it went from one roadblock to the next, from one to the next, from one to the next. The Korea, the cancer, the this, the that, like it just kept going and going and going. One more, you know. So when your friend said you're gonna change,
Oh man.
is this the change you would say that now you have this new level of
Oh man, he hit
persistence?
right on the head. He hit
Yeah.
right on the head, said that because after that point, he gave me the opportunity where I no longer have to work full time. I could focus purely on bodybuilding.
Right.
What happened since then, my physique has just transformed. Everything has just happened because now I can be like, okay, bodybuilding pays for itself now.
Yeah.
I don't have to sort of do something else to reinforce that. I can actually go, okay, right.
Yeah.
Now it was like for the first time, it felt like the world is in your hand. I said, okay, right. Now show us how good of a bodybuilder can you really be?
Right. And do
All
you
the time you said you had it, you can do it. Now you've been doing it with someone said, I think one of the promoters I met one time when I told him my situation at the time, he goes, bro, you're running a sprint with with your legs cuffs together.
seriously, and the sandbags behind you.
You know,
You know?
and I was laughing. He goes, bro, I'm not joking. He goes, you're running a sprint
Yeah.
and you got your legs cuffs. And then since then, I was like, well, now we're on an even playing field. And all of a sudden, you know, we've seen the transformation. We've seen what's happened since then, you know. And we're seeing how far, you know, we can go when someone's finally giving you that opportunity. And that's all you never needed. You don't need a handout.
No.
It's okay, right.
Yeah.
Here's your chance. Show me what you can do.
Love it.
Honestly, you take it with both arms. You go crazy with everything you can.
Unbelievable. So this is a little quick follow-up question. So how is that experience in Korea, the whole thing from beginning to the end? How does that hardened you and made you feel unstoppable?
You know what? It's genuinely, it's once you have that sort of experience,
Yeah.
nothing, especially in this sport.
That's what I'm thinking.
Nothing, and you're doing everything when literally your life is falling apart one bit at a time.
Yeah.
You're trying to hold on to each string.
Yeah.
Standing going, in a minute, all this is going to fall apart. I'm going to go home, be jobless, be homeless, be everything.
Yeah.
When you've been through that,
yeah,
there's hardly anything else that you can be like, well, what else can you do to me now that can really be worse? Like, you know, so he hardens you to that. So that's why, you know, people say, oh man, I'm always a cheerful guy and always smile. I'm like, yeah, because I feel lucky. I feel blessed.
Yeah.
That's why, because every time I feel I'm in that position where I feel like, oh, I'm so tired. I got to eat this next meal. I'm exhausted. Oh, prep is so hard. But I smile and go, remember where you were 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, this ain't that bad.
Unbelievable, man. No. Seriously, man. That's if you keep that in your back pocket as a as a superpower and realize that like I said, I would have stopped at I'm pretty persistent, but when you're doing something, you weren't sponsored, coming out of your own pocket, you'd made that travel, pandemic. I mean, I would have been, admittedly, it would have been tough for me, man, to keep going. And then get fired.
Yeah, man, it definitely was tough, you know. And honestly, I do appreciate that experience.
Yeah.
I got in now. Like, wow.
It made you.
Wow. It really did make, you know.
Yeah. So my last question for you. What is so when this is all done, what do you wish to be your legacy in this sport? How do you put yourself on the face of that Mount Olympus that I once portrayed? What's your legacy?
Man, honestly, other than, okay, I want to win the Olympia. That's one thing I always want to do. But I want to be the guy that did it as a normal bloke, a normal guy that went to full-time job, had a dream, didn't just get bumped up, didn't went through the struggle, and 1 inch at a time, 1 brick at a time, climbed his way all the way to the top without any handout, without any, okay, we'll give you a promotion up there. So actually grind your way there and get it that way. So you can look back and say, wow, if I can do it, hell, why can't you?
Okay. Yeah. I love that, man. I love that because you chose one hell of a tough
Oh, yeah.
sport, man. You chose
Oh,
one
yeah.
hell because it's not, this sport is not measured by a speed like 9.54. It's not measured by a knockout. It's not measured by a pin. It's measured subjectively. And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part about this sport. If you win, when you win, you got to be better than you were, because the only place you're chasing now is you from the last year.
Oh, yeah.
This is where this becomes a mind game, and it's good luck, brother, because you chose the path that is, but you're building. Here's the thing that I see now that I'm talking about this and talking to you about your career.
Yeah.
When you get the window,
Yeah.
it's everything, almost like everything you went through before the win is shining you, is hardening you, is to go the rest of the distance.
It really is. It really is. And this is why I keep saying, like, honestly, the person I was before I started bodybuilding, the person I am now, it's so night and day different. That I wouldn't recognize myself.
Yeah, you'd crush that guy.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I did not have things I never knew was in me. I never even tried to achieve or try to do, or even had the strength to. Bodybuilding showed me that, yeah, there's a lot more strength there than you can, and it really showed me. Honestly, I just smile. I think, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Awesome. You know, Samson, thanks, man. Thanks for your time. We all wish you luck. I'm gonna enjoy watching your journey because, like I said, I love watching you. You're one of the in a long time. You're one of the most pleasing posers with your physique. You know, some people, I was talking to somebody the other day about it, and they said they compared you to great Cedric, how you moved and how you know, the symmetry and the balance, and so amazing, man. So I wish you great luck, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I'll be supporting you all the way, brother, and I appreciate you. So
thanks, man.
By the way, do you do any training, or is there any way people can get a hold of you, get follow you? What's some contacts they can support you?
Instagram, you know, I'm there. Samson Dauda on Instagram, on YouTube, IFBB Pro Samson Dauda. You know, yeah, man, if you want to reach out, I'm always on there. I'm always there to answer questions and messages. I hear people support all the time. I get supported message all the time. And I always say, man, those things, they do help. And especially in those times where you're in doubt, they do help people.
Love it. Love it. All right, everybody. There you go. Follow him. We'll put the handle in the show notes, and we'll put everything there. Samson, once again, man, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Awesome. And everybody, you know why I do this. If there's an information you heard in here that someone you know needs to know, please subscribe, share it, and like what you hear, because you know, I'm laying it out there for you so you can be relentless about your pursuit for personal mastery. Until later, everybody, peace and love.